Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Bears. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video in the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to another episode of rebuilding the 2012 Cleveland Browns and changing their history. That is right, we are back, we return, and I'm hoping that we can right the wrongs of the past two episodes today. The last two episodes, if you have missed them, we have been the best team in all of football. We have made it all the way to the Super Bowl, and we have unfortunately lost both times. I do not want this to snowball into something that is in our head and we just can't get out of it and we always lose and then we're coming up short for no reason. We need to get over this. We need to win a championship, mainly because that's the challenge, is to win a Super Bowl, at least one. We've already done it multiple times with the Giants, so we need to win at least one Super Bowl before we end this series, or it's considered a failure. So, I mean, we've gotten to the peak. We've gotten to the summit. We just need to actually complete it. We need to finish the job, win a championship, and then we can just ride out into the sunset for the last few seasons, however long it takes. But that all is coming up in today's episode. I hope you guys are excited for it. If you are, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. You know what? Let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight to the video because we need to figure out how this team is going to simulate in this season. This is our team. Obviously, you guys are familiar with it. We haven't made that many changes except for the new additions at receiver, which is something we really, really needed. We only had Stephon Diggs and Chris Godwin and Kendrick Bourne. Those are really our only receivers, but we add in two big-time, big-body threat receivers in DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown. So I'm hoping that these two guys, I know that they're not going to really factor in, at least A.J. Brown won't factor in too much because he's a 75 overall right now, but I'm hoping that these two guys down the line will become our number one and number two receivers alongside Stephon Diggs, who's going to be getting up there in age a little bit. He is 25, but in a couple of seasons when DK and A.J. Brown are ready to ascend, he's going to be like 27, 28, 29, so he's going to be closer to 30, and these guys are going to be hopefully ready to go. We've still obviously got our franchise quarterback in Johnny Manziel. We've got Derrick Henry. We've got a great offensive line that we could use an upgrade on the right side, but as of right now, that offensive line's pretty good. They're efficient enough to get the job done. We've obviously got Travis Kelce, who's amazing. And then on defense, we've got a great defense. We got a Hall of Fame defensive line, greatest defensive line of all time, Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald, and Jadeveon Clowney. We've got a great linebacking core. We need to see some more improvements from Fred Warner now that we switched to a 3-4, so Fred Warner will now get a little bit more play time and so he was starting at left outside linebacker, but we move him to his traditional middle linebacker spot so that he can hopefully get those boosts alongside Reuben Foster and get even better, because now we have TJ Watt starting at the left outside and we have Kevin Pierre-Louis starting at right outside. So I'm looking for this entire linebacking core to take that next step in terms of overall. We've still got TJ Ward, but we are probably going to have to look for a new strong safety at some point. Budda Baker is going to take that next step hopefully and become closer to a 90. We've got great corners. We got Jalen Ramsey, Joe Hayden, but Joe Hayden is getting a little bit older. He is 30 now. He's been here since the beginning. We're gonna have to figure out what to do with him. I think his contract is coming up, if I'm not mistaken. We've been using Joe Hayden as one of our guys that we restructure every single episode, but I think that might be coming to a close. He's got 2 years left, so he's got this year and next year left on his deal before we have to figure out what to do with him. We might even move on from him at that point, or maybe he retires. I have no idea. Then we got AJ Bouye, we got Quandre Diggs, and we got Desmond King. So we've got great players all around this team. We struggle a little bit on depth around the team. Like, we only have one tight end, which is Travis Kelce. We only have like one outside linebacker each. So I know we struggle a little bit on depth, but for the most part, our top end talent, our starters, are peak. They are very, very good. But it's time to import the draft class. I think it's 2020, right? Because 2019 was DK and AJ Brown, I'm pretty sure. Let me go to the receivers and make sure. Yeah, okay. I thought that's what it was. So we got to get 2020 loaded in. Joe Burrow, Chase Young, all these boys. We're obviously not really in the market for a quarterback, but if we could get in play for Jalen Hurts, that'd be awesome. I could certainly see that taking him in the second round could certainly be something I would be down for sure. Running backs, I'd be in play for a Jonathan Taylor. I'd be in play for a J.K. Dobbins. Even an Antonio Gibson type. Is there anybody down the board that would be a little bit better value? James Robinson, but I don't think he's a very high overall. Wide receivers, we don't really need any, but obviously I'm going to be in play for a Justin Jefferson or a Brandon Ayuk or even a T. Higgins and Michael Pittman for sure. Who else is down here? Gabe Davis would even be a nice pickup. I mean, we're pretty good on receiver at this point. It would just be depth if we were going to take a receiver in this class. Tight end, we do need a tight end. I talked about how we only had one tight end, which was Travis Kelce. So if we could get in play for Dalton Keene, maybe even Albert O, or this tight end class isn't the best, so maybe we hold off, or I don't know. I guess if we fall to a guy like Donald Parham Jr., if we fall to him, if he falls to us, then we can grab him. Offensive line, we do need a tackle. I would love to get Tristan Wirfs. That would be my first round pick. If I had to choose, that'd probably be my first round pick. Left guards, I'll put Ezra Cleveland and Damian Lewis on there, even Jonah Jackson. But I don't think we're going to be in play for a left guard unless we move him to right guard, I guess. Center, Tyler Biadasz, but that's probably it. Right guard, Cesar Ruiz, maybe. Michael Wenyu, maybe. We'll see what happens there. And then right tackle, Mekhi Becton. And that's probably going to be it. Left end, I'll put Chase Young on there. We're not going to be in the market for Chase Young. We're going to hopefully be too good. At least that's the plan, is to be in the Super Bowl, obviously, so we're not going to have a top pick. But anybody else? Justin Mbanabuke could be somebody we take a look at. Even Bryce Huff, as an undrafted guy, could be something interesting. We're not really in the market for a right end. I mean, we're not in the market for a defensive lineman, really, unless it's obviously depth. So we can kind of just put a couple of guys on here and move on, but it's not a great defensive line class depth-wise anyway. It's really just the top guys, and then it kind of falls off. Left outside linebacker, I'll put Anthony Jennings and Akeem Davis-Gaither on here. Probably not going to be looking at those guys too heavily. Kenneth Murray, Patrick Queen. I could be persuaded to take a guy like Patrick Queen, that's for sure. But, again, we don't really need middle linebacker because we have two really, really solid ones. So it's something to keep an eye on. Chason, YGM, Josh Uche, Willie Gay. This is a good right outside linebacker class. For depth reasons alone, we could grab maybe one or two if we're feeling frisky. Corners, CJ Henderson, AJ Terrell. I love our depth at corner, so I'm not going to be looking too hard at the corners, but if we can find a guy down the board like a L'Jarius Sneed day 3, that'd be amazing value. Or Bryce Hall even down the board. That would be some crazy good value, especially considering we already have great depth at corner. Free safety, Xavier McKinney, Antoine Winfield, Jeremy Chin, Terrell Burgess, Geno Stone. A lot of these guys are super, super fresh in my memory because we just did this recently with the Giants. So I'm remembering some of these guys and how good they are to start out with. Jordan Fuller, Cam Curl. Oh, Cam Curl down the board. We could get some really good value down the board in terms of DBs. It would be unbelievably good. Tyler Bass, not really in the market for a kicker. All right. That's going to be our board. We're obviously not going to be in play for Joe Burrow. Jalen Hurts would be the only quarterback I would be considering. I don't really know what my first round pick is going to be. Depends on where we play or where we finish, but obviously I'm thinking heavy on Tristan Wirfs. That is for sure. Cornerback and receiver are the strengths of the class. I may just go receiver. Like I said, we have great depth at corner. Or I could switch it to offensive line. That might be something. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe we'll fire our scout. We can always rehire the corner and wide receiver scout. Fire the scout and then go offensive tackles. Probably interior offensive line and tackles is the person. Willie Roaf. That'll be my 5-star scout. I know it's not the strengths of any of the class, but more of our needs is what we are going to be focusing on. So, and I'm probably going to use it on tackle. Our week 8 stuff, I'm probably going to use on tackle. So I'm going to simulate to the week 8 or the week 11 stuff, I guess. No, week 8. Week 8 is the right. I'm going to simulate to week 8, and then I'll catch back up with you guys when I'm right there. We've arrived at week 8, and we are 5-2. Very good start. We're lucky that the division, again, is kind of weak, so we're not having to focus too hard on the division as a whole, but we're doing pretty well. I'm going to set my focus scouting to tackles so that we can learn a lot about, like, Tristan Wirfs and Jedrick Wills and all those guys. That's who we're kind of be looking at, obviously. Negotiations for upcoming season. Brandon Scherf, Yannick Ngakoue, Jack Conklin, Tony Jefferson. So it's not a lot of expensive contracts. We are going to have to accept the option on a bunch of these guys. It's not a bunch of expensive contracts, but it's a lot of guys that I do want to bring back. So we're going to have to go to the old trusty restructuring of deals. Keep it flowing so that we can get some free money. You know, we are able to bring these guys back. But the key is that we can start restructuring like Manziel, Aaron Donald, all these guys that we paid tons and tons of money to. We can free up a ton of that money with only a few players because we're pushing all that expensive money back down the line. So that's the key with signing like these expensive guys, because we can keep pushing that money down the line a little bit further for future juice to have to worry about. But we can free up present juice with a ton of money. See, that was 3 straight guys, and we already probably have enough money to sign all those guys that I wanted to. And Joe Hayden, we crucially cannot restructure. So that honey hole has been dried up. We cannot restructure Joe Hayden anymore. That's going to be an interesting one to figure out what we're going to do with him. I'm not 100% sure. But now, I mean, look at that. We freed up. We had minus $43 million in available cap. Now we have 86. That's the benefit of having those big contracts. Okay, so for some reason, Brandon Scherf says that his current or projected depth is 4th. He's the starter. I don't know why it says that he's not going to be a starter, but we'll just pay him starter caliber money because he's going to be a starter anyway. I don't know why it would say that he's not. And we will give him a bunch of money because he's 27. He is a little bit older, but he's certainly worth it. So we'll bring him back. I definitely want to bring Yannick Ngakoue back because I do think he's a nice, valuable depth piece. And if he gets the chance to start with that superstar development, he could certainly skyrocket up the overalls. That's for sure. So we will pay Yannick Ngakoue good money, and then we will bring back Jack Conklin. Because if we're not going to get a tackle, if we end up not getting a tackle in this class, we're going to need somebody to play. So we need to have Jack Conklin, and he could be a very solid backup too. So we're going to pay Jack Conklin a good amount of money as well. Tony Jefferson I want back, even though I know he's a backup. Good depth. Got to have good depth. Especially if you get somebody that you just can't re-sign. So we will pay Tony Jefferson that much money. Blake Martinez wants to come back. And I was planning on having Blake Martinez have a big impact. But then we got Reuben Foster and Fred Warner. So he kind of fell down the board a little bit. But I do think he can play a good factor. TJ Ward I want to bring back. Even though I know he's a little bit older. We are going to have to look for a safety at some point. He's coming back. Javon Hargrave I want back, because I need that depth at tackle. So we are running low on funds, though. We might have to restructure a few more deals if we want to bring anybody else back. So we have $6.5 million. Nickel Roby-Coleman, Quinton Spain, Jonathan Jones, Brandon Linder. $6.5 million. We can get one of these guys back. Or maybe we can get all of them. They're not as expensive as I thought. So we can get Roby-Coleman back for hopefully a little bit like that. So we got Roby-Coleman back. Span, I don't even know if I want back. Jonathan Jones, maybe. Brandon Linder, maybe. I might be able to get Brandon Linder with the money I have. So if we offer that to Brandon Linder, he's going to come back. So we squeezed every little bit out of the money that we had. I might not even bring any of these guys back. That might just be everybody that we sign. I don't know. I might try to restructure, see if I can restructure anybody else's. I may only need to do like 1 or 2 more guys. So if we restructure Travis Kelce, nope, that's not restructure, that's edit. We can't restructure Kelce. Good to know. But if I restructure AJ Bouye. That would certainly help us out. And I can't restructure. Can I not restructure anybody? Maybe I ran my limit on restructuring. Maybe I ran my limit on restructuring. Can I not restructure anybody's contract? What about Deion Buchanan? Okay, there we go. I can restructure Buchanan's, so that's going to help. Who else? I just got Ngakoue. We can probably do Frederick because we just re-signed him. Yeah, we can do Travis Frederick. And that's probably going to be enough money. Let's go back and see. That's probably enough because those guys weren't expensive at all. So let's go and see. That freed up, oh, negative 114 million. Exactly what I was looking for. We're not going to be able to bring those guys back. That's all right. We didn't really need them. It's not the end of the world. We can always get guys in the draft who are just as talented, or maybe even better, because those guys were like, what, high 60s, low 70s? It's not going to matter, and we'll just accept the options on the rest of those people. What is our draft capital situation? What are we looking at draft pick-wise? We have first, second, third, and then a 6 and a 7. Okay. So not a ton of draft picks, but a good amount. A good amount of draft picks. Enough to do what I want to do, probably. Ooh, Chiefs are pretty good. I don't even know who their quarterback is. It would probably be Alex Smith still. Or maybe they got Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. We have a breakout quarterback scenario here in Week 11, even though our quarterback is a X factor, so he can't go up any higher. At Week 11 now, we can use the focus players. And since we used our guys on right tackles, we don't need probably to learn about them. I kind of want to know about Jalen Hurts, even though probably not going to be in the market for him. And he's even gone up. He was like round 2 to 3 projected. Now he's round 1 to 2. So he's having a good season in Oklahoma. He must be having a good season in Oklahoma. Who else am I interested in? We already know Tristan Wirfs is going to be a stud. We don't have to waste any on that. I will use one on Michael Wenyu because that could be a nice right guard pickup down the board in the draft. Who else? Who else? Probably Tyre Tart would be a nice pickup. Backup D tackle. And then maybe Willie Gay. I could certainly be interested in Willie Gay, or maybe even Alex Highsmith. I think I'm going to use Willie Gay. Those are going to be my guys for Week 11. And then we will ride it out and see. I guess I'll activate the breakout quarterback scenario. If he plays well enough and he gets it, then I guess he just gets XP. Because he can't go up to anything higher than Superstar X Factor. So we'll see. I mean, we're playing the Bengals, who aren't having the greatest of seasons. We win 45-21. Did he get it? Any thoughts on how Manziel played? Not too much. He didn't get it. Even though we played, how do you score 45 points and your quarterback doesn't dominate the game and throw multiple touchdowns and do all the things? Whatever. We move on. We're still having a really good season, winning a bunch of games, as you would expect, because we are a really good football team. Let's keep it moving, taking on the Falcons. You'd think that we'd have a little bit of a tougher schedule since we just went to the Super Bowl, but seems like we are. Maybe we do have a tough schedule and we're still winning these games, but I don't know. That could have been a trap game against the Patriots, but we got it done. Manziel's up to a true 95 overall, so Manziel is growing very well. He must be having a pretty good season. Taking on the Panthers. We do beat them, barely, but we beat them. Now we take on the Steelers. Steelers, the whole division's not very good this season. But of course we lose to them. We're 12-3. Steelers are making a climb, though. Steelers are making a push for maybe the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know what the bottom half of the division or the conference is looking like. Taking on the bad Bengals. Are we going to get a W against them? We do, and we take on the Jags. This could be for, unless we've already locked it up, this could be for the #1 spot. We win, and we still didn't even get it. Who had a better season than we did? We're playing in the wild card against the Colts. Who had a better season than us? The Broncos went 15-2. We went 14-3. So if we wouldn't have lost that stupid game against the Steelers, we would have tied the Broncos and maybe even had the advantage over them. Well, that's upsetting. The fact that we didn't even get the we didn't even get the bye. even having as good of a season as we did. I mean, Manziel had a fantastic year. 4,600 yards, 25 touchdowns, 6 picks. That's a phenomenal year with a 70% completion percentage. That is an amazing year for Johnny Manziel. Derrick Henry had a great year. 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. Even Aaron Jones had 10 touchdowns. DK Metcalf, that's got to be Rookie of the Year. I didn't even realize DK was going to get that many touchdowns. He got 101 catches. 1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns. That has to be Rookie of the Year. Stephon Diggs, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. Godwin had a pretty good year. Kelsey had a good year. Unbelievable from DK. That's got to be something. 127 tackles from Pierre Lewis. No surprise there. Foster had 116. TJ Ward, 88. Donald, 85. Ramsey, 83. Hayden, 81. Tackle for loss leader was Donald with 24. 18 for Hargrave. Wow, okay. 17 for Clowney. 10 for Garrett. And then Donald had 21 sacks. Led the team. 11.5 for Clowney. 6 for Garrett. 2 for Hargrave. Pick leader was Ramsey with 4, and then Ward and Budda Baker had 2. A couple guys had 1. That's gotta be offensive Rookie of the Year for good old DK Metcalf. I didn't even think he was gonna get that many yards. I know he was the number 2 guy, but like I didn't think he was gonna be featured that much. I thought it'd be Stephon Diggs and maybe then DK, but he led the team. So we take on the Colts here. The stupid Broncos beat us. It's gonna be Packers at the 1 seed over there. So we've got an interesting matchup. Colts are obviously pretty good, but they're the 7 seed. They snuck in. We'll see how it goes. We need to win this game if we have any hopes of getting to a 3rd straight Super Bowl. I mean, we're clearly one of the best teams. Arguably should be the best team, but Broncos have it there. We do win, which is nice. We take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, who we beat already the regular season. They went 10-7. Broncos will take on the Texans because they upset the Patriots. Come on, Patriots. That's a bad look. It's Packers and Eagles and Seahawks and Panthers in the NFC side of things. All right, we got to do our job. We got to beat the Jaguars and get it done. I just hope that this isn't kind of like a trap game where the Jags upset us, even though we're playing well. I know Madden likes to do that, but we win 21-17. Man, we are squeaking some of these games out. And I just realized the Broncos got upset by the Texans. Oh my God. The Texans are on a miracle run right now. They're 9-8. And they just beat the number 3 seeded Patriots and the number 1 seed. They beat them by a point. It had to have been, I guess it could have been a field goal, but I'm assuming it was like a late game touchdown. It was 20-14 and they scored the touchdown to win the game. Unbelievable. I'm guessing that's what it is. I'm making my own narrative. But they have, the 6 seed has beaten the 3 and the 1. I really hope they don't beat the 2 to complete the trifecta. Oh, I'm super nervous now. I was kind of nervous to play the 1 seed, but I figured, 1 versus 2, nice competition, evenly matched. Who knows what can happen, but this one, oh, I hate it. Why did the Texans have to beat them? Oh, the Broncos were frauds. They were frauds of the 1 seed. I hate this. I hate it here. Please, 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 please don't let this be the team of destiny. Oh, don't get upset. Please don't get upset by the Texans. And we don't. 35-24. That's exactly what we needed to do. We are in our 3rd straight Super Bowl. We need this to go our way. We're taking on the Eagles. Manziel is now a 96 overall headed into the Super Bowl. That's amazing. If I remember correctly, yeah, Philadelphia was the 7 seed. So talk about historical Cinderella runs. We just crushed the dreams of the Texans on our side of the bracket. But Philadelphia, the 7 seed, has beaten the 2, the 1, and the 3. So they've done the trifecta on their side of things. And now they're going to try to upset us. Are we really going to go? I mean, we have the opportunity to crush the dreams of 2 Cinderella fan bases. A 6 seed that made it to the AFC title game and a 7 seed that's made it all the way to the Super Bowl. Are we going to be the supervillains that crush the dreams of Fly Eagle Fly? I really hope so. We need this. We need to win this, or we're going to do what the title of last episode said, and we're going to truly become the 90s Bills if we go 0-3 in 3 straight Super Bowls. We need to get this done. So I got something to tell you. I accidentally simulated the Super Bowl, and as you can see, we didn't win. Again, we are now 0-3 in Super Bowl appearances. 3 straight years. We lost to the Falcons by 3. Last episode, we lost to the Panthers 26-15, and then we get blown out by the Philadelphia Eagles, 41-26. Mariota's the MVP of the Super Bowl. RG3's MVP of the league. Somehow, we don't win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Mecole Hardman of the Philadelphia Eagles won Offensive Rookie of the Year. I have no idea how that happened. Aaron Donald won Defensive Player of the Year, which is nice. But we're going to have to take a look at Mecole Hardman's stats. Nick Bosa won Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Dolphins. Yeah, I didn't mean to simulate. I meant to jump in as we usually do. But I accidentally pressed the wrong button. I scrolled down a little too far and I went to the simulation thing. So, yeah, that happened. And we are 0-3. I don't know if I would have been able to change things. Maybe we still would have lost even if I was in there. But that's not what I wanted to do. Absolutely not. Let's go take a look at Mecole Hardman. How did he have a better season than DK Metcalf? He had 108 catches, 1,300 yards, and 12 touchdowns. So he had less catches, but a few more yards and more touchdowns. Okay, so he did probably earn the Rookie of the Year. Of course, that we had to have that great of a season from DK, and then somebody else had just a slight better season than we did. Oh, why did I have to simulate? Maybe I could have affected it. Maybe I couldn't have. We might have still lost. That's always a possibility. I mean, we lost 2 straight already. But we are dangerously becoming the 90s Bills, and I do not want that to happen. Oh, I do not want that to happen. Any upgrades? DK is a superstar. Was he already superstar, or did he go up because he had such a good season? He is... Why am I... Oh, I'm in modification attack. He is always a superstar. Okay, that's nice to see. DK Metcalf, superstar. AJ Brown, star. I did notice that. No other upgrades for development traits that I see. On defense, no upgrades that I can see. So no player upgrades. Wow, okay. That's kind of upsetting. I mean, to be fair, all the guys that played really well are the guys that have the X Factors. So it's not surprising, but I'd like to see a few upgrades. And I did notice that TJ Ward's overall is severely dropping. We really need to find a new strong safety. I guess we could move Budda Baker to strong safety, but I don't know. We'll figure something out. We are going to accept the option on all of these young players, mainly because we have no other choice, and we're just going to have to let these guys walk, and we'll get new replacements, hopefully, in the offseason. But we can't do free agency, as that's become custom. We can't do free agency, but that's all right. I will take a pop in and see who's available. Justin Tucker, Chris Hairston. It's a bunch of offensive tackles and a couple players here and there. We could use one of the tackles, but obviously we don't have any money. It would be nice to grab a right tackle. But we'll have to look for Tristan Wirfs in the draft. I have no idea if we're going to be in position because we made the Super Bowl, and I'm assuming Tristan Wirfs is going to go top 10 at the latest. Maybe he'll slip down a little bit. I don't know. Snip? He could. We'll have to take a look at that final mock draft and see where they have him placed. It's going to be interesting because, I mean, he could go anywhere in the top 10. He could fall anywhere, but we've seen crazier things happen where really, really good players fall to like 20th and stuff like that. And we can possibly trade up to get him. I really think Tristan Wirfs is our guy. I really do think that Tristan Wirfs is our guy. And they have him, please don't be very high. Okay, this is promising. They have him at 12. I think we can trade up to 12. I think that is very reasonable. Chase Young, they've got him going number 1. They have us taking Jonathan Taylor, which honestly would not be the worst thing, but I think we can get up to 12. It's going to be a little bit of an ask. We might have to trade 2022 draft picks. Yeah, because that would be the 3rd year. But I think we can do it. I think we can get up to 12 and get Tristan Wirfs. Let's take a look at some other players that we need to use these on. Oh, let's see. Who else should we keep an eye on? Probably... I'll use one on Albert O, because he could be a guy in the 3rd round that we grab. I'll use one on... We already know that Michael Onwenu is a round 1 talent. We'll keep him in our back pocket. I'll use one on Tyler Biadasz, because he's day 3. And then I'll use my final one on probably a safety, since that's what we're in the market for the most. Even though Trayvon Diggs would be nice. We can still come away with him. I'm not saying we can't. I'll probably use it. Cam Curl would be really good, a really good steal. I'm going to use it on Cam Curl. If we could come away with Cam Curl, I think that would be amazing. That'd be a nice steal. But let's go see if we can make a move for the 12th pick. It's going to be difficult, but I think we might have a chance. We might have to do the old trade up. Oh, that's the Eagles. We need to trade with, who has pick 12? It was the Jets. Jets have pick 12. We needed to do the old trade up a couple of picks and then keep doing that to stack up to 12. That could be a possibility. And we can't trade players, so we're probably going to have to trade pick 31. I know I like to do keep my first round pick the same year, but I don't think that's going to be possible. I'll trade you my 2022 first rounder. See, that's what I'm talking about. I might even have to trade my 2022 first rounder. Can I trade my 2022nd? Nah, I'll have to trade. To get it across the board, I'll trade my 2022 first. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. And then I will do my 2022 fourth rounder. No, fifth rounder. Can I get away with not doing the first round pick? No. I have to try every single way to not give up my first round pick this year so that we could get as much value as possible. But I will do it, and I'll give up my fifth rounder from next year. Trade offer accepted. So it wasn't that difficult. It took 2 first rounders and 2 fifth rounders to get up to pick number 12, which locks us in for Tristan Wirfs, which is amazing. Exactly what I wanted to do. We're going to come away with a franchise right tackle. We already have a franchise left tackle, left guard, and center, right? We have a center. Yeah, Travis Frederick. Travis Frederick is our franchise center. So we're pretty good at that. And we're going to come away with our franchise right tackle. Now, I know we have Jack Conklin. We just re-signed him, but, I mean, this is Tristan Wirfs. We know Tristan Wirfs is going to be amazing. Number 1 pick is Chase Young out of the Ohio State University. Then Derek Brown to the Bengals. Jeff Okudah to the Cardinals. Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty in New York. Okay, I see it. I see the vision. Justin Herbert in Dallas. Andrew Thomas. AJ Terrell to the Falcons. Look at that. Then you got Isaiah Simmons. You've got CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee's nuts. Jerry Jeudy. And then Brandon Ayuk. And now is our time to grab ourselves our franchise right tackle. We could grab Tua. We could grab a bunch of players. There's some good players in this class. But we are going to grab ourselves our franchise right tackle, Tristan Wirfs. Welcome to the team. He's got 87 jumping. Okay, I'll take that. 87 jumping. I know it says he's a left tackle. I mean, look at those numbers right there. Or look at those attributes. I know it says he's a left tackle. We will move either Ryan Ramczyk or Tristan Wirfs to right tackle. It really doesn't matter. Probably Ramczyk, but we can move Wirfs as well. They both play right tackle. All right, so we got ourselves our guy. Now we can. That might be one of the best first-round picks I've made in a while. Probably since I got Myles Garrett and I got Jadeveon Clowney and Aaron Donald, all those guys back in the day. But we got ourselves some good players. And I think I'm just going to skip right to the next pick, which is pick 31 of the second round. And we'll see who's on our board. Who is still available on our board? So Hurts is gone. No surprise there. Onwenu's still available. We'll keep an eye on Onwenu. He could be our replacement for Taylor Moton. Alex Highsmith is still available. That could be a nice pickup. But he's round 3 to 4. Okay, so a lot of guys are gone. Not a surprise, but a lot of guys are gone. I don't even really know where I'm going to go with this. I could grab a Gabe Davis, but I think that would be a little bit too much of a reach. I might grab Albert O here, but maybe that's not the right idea. I think I'm going to take Albert O. We do need backup tight end because we only have 1 on the roster. I know this is probably a little bit of a reach, but he looks really good, and I'm going to take him. Only normal development. That kind of sucks for a second-round pick, but I feel like I could have traded it back, I guess, but we need a backup tight end, and I'm hoping that we can grab somebody here in the 3rd round that is actually in the 3rd round. So we've got Gabe Davis still available, Onwenu still available. I think this has to be the Cam Curl pick, even though I know that there's some really good players still on the board. We're just going to have to pass on him because we need a safety more than anything because TJ Ward is severely regressing. So I think this has to be the Cam Curl pickup. He's going to be our future strong safety. I trust him. 86 speed, 90 acceleration. He might be higher overall than TJ Ward right now. He might start right away. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, because TJ Ward, I think, is like a 75, 74 overall, so if he's a higher overall than that, then we will see. But now we don't pick until the 6th round, so I'm doubting that a lot of those guys are going to be there. Maybe some of the day 3 guys. Owenyu's gone, which is the guy I was going to take. That's a little bit upsetting. I'll take Tyre Tart here. We could always use backup D tackles. I was hoping Owenyu would still be there, but I guess he must have got taken in the 5th round, or I guess he could have got taken in the 6th round. It's not like he couldn't have. And then our final pick, Bryce Huff is the only guy available. Do we go Bryce Huff or do we go somebody else? Bryce Huff is probably the best pick, even though he's not going to be that good. We could get Jake Browning, I guess. I think Bryce Huff is going to be the pick. He's not going to be good, but we need to grab somebody. He's got a development trade. It's probably only star. I think it is actually only star, but that's a solid pickup, I guess. And we end our draft. So we were able to grab ourselves a franchise tackle, which is always going to be good. Draft recap. So Tristan Wirfs 85 overall. Instant starter day 1. Alberto's a 69. Not a problem. He doesn't have to start right away at all. Cam Curl's at 84. He's going to start over TJ Ward year 1. Tyre Tart's a 78 and Bryce Huff's a 77. Those are really good value picks in the 6th and 7th round. And they both had development traits. I think that's a W of a draft. I think that's a W of a draft. Maybe we could have passed on Alberto and either taken somebody else that we knew was going to be better or traded the pick, but we needed tight end, and he was the one I liked the most. Winfield's the best player in the class. This is one of the classes that has all the high overalls. I could go in and lower all the overalls manually, but I just don't really want to do that, so I didn't make the draft classes. I just downloaded them from the Madden modding community and then imported them in. So if anybody wants to take the time and do that and then re-upload it to the modding community thing, Discord, and then I'll re-download it, that'd be perfect. But I just don't want to take the time to do it. I could do it. Maybe I will. But I don't really want to. All right, so Tristan Wirfs will immediately start at right tackle. We'll just switch him right away to right tackle instead of left tackle. And he will be our go-to franchise right tackle for the future. Absolutely beautiful. Generative best lineup. Wide receivers are looking good. A.J. Brown moves up. He's actually going to move up. He is above. Okay. I was going to say he's going to move up above Godwin. He is above Godwin. And then we've got ourselves a great offensive line. I was hoping that Owenyu would start right there, but we didn't get Owenyu, so Moton will still be there. Offensive line's looking fantastic. And then the defense, we add Cam Curl, who is I was wrong. TJ Ward's not even 75 or 74. He is a 72. So Cam Curl will start right away. We've got great linebackers. We've got Budda Baker, who needs to take that next step. I was hoping he would this season, but he didn't. We've got the impending free agency of Joe Hayden. We're going to figure out what to do with that. We've got great depth at D tackle now. We've got even better depth at pass rusher now with Ngakoue and Bryce Huff. This team's really good. This team is really, really good, and I don't see any reason why we can't be in the Super Bowl for a 4th straight year, and hopefully I don't screw it up this time and simulate, but that's going to do it for the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.